I'd like to remind everybody to please silence their cell phones. The first item on our agenda is always the invocation and pledge. Tonight's meeting will be given by District 2. The invocation will be given by Commissioner Betsy Hester, and the pledge will be given by Commissioner Judy Herbert. Please rise.
Let us pray. Dear God, we thank you for all of our many, many blessings. Please be with us tonight as we lead our county through the following resolutions that we will address. Ask you to please be with our military here at home and abroad. Please be with our sick and our recovering, and please be with those families who have lost family members. I ask you for a special blessing on our schools as they're winding up the school year now. Be with the teachers and all the personnel, school bus drivers, and the students. And I pray this in His name. Amen. Amen. Please repeat the pledge with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on our agenda is roll call. If all the commissioners have pressed their sign-in button, if they can then press their present button. Is Mr. Whitby here? Who will I be calling on? I just said Madam Clerk. Record the roll, please. Madam Clerk. Who is it? Oh.
Present, 2 absent.
Okay, 2 absent, and I heard from both of them. They had other prior engagements. O'Neill is checked in, but we're missing Commissioner Jones and Commissioner Sturgeon. Yeah, absolutely. Commissioner Jones, I believe, is helping the Fairview High School softball team win another one tonight. All right, next we have on the agenda the approval of the minutes. This will be for the March meeting. I have a motion here from Commissioner Tunnicliffe, seconded by Commissioner Sanford. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? I have a question or statement from Commissioner Richards.
I do. On page 2, I think it was just an oversight at the start of citizens communication. It says Chairman Beathard explained the rules for citizens communication. That should have been Chairman Pro Tem Aiello.
We'll make that change to the minutes. Any other changes or additions that need to be made to the minutes? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor of accepting the minutes, press your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Commissioner Webb? Record the vote, please.
21 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain, 2 absent.
Motion passes. And I do want to thank Commissioner Aiello publicly for filling in for me at the last meeting. Thank you again, Commissioner. Next up, we have citizen communications. Our rules allow up to 3 minutes per speaker for a total of 30 minutes. We have 2, it looks like, individuals who have signed up. I will call you up in the order in which you've signed in. When I do, if you will come to the podium, announce your name and the city in which you reside. And you'll each be given 3 minutes to speak. First one on the list I have is Mr. Frank Limpus.
My name's Frank Limpus. I live here in Franklin. You guys have a rule now that limits citizen input. One that says in voicing comments about government actions, concerned citizens can only address items that are on a committee's agenda. But you don't post the agenda for those meetings at least 48 hours before the meeting. So how is it that citizens know what's on an agenda and what could be spoken about. I would specifically like to ask Commissioner Aiello, Tunnicliffe, and Sanford to explain why they refused to second the motion for the resolution made by Commissioner Stresser in the March Rules Committee meeting. Please approve the Commissioner Richards 48-hour resolution, and let's start bringing some transparency back to everything that's done. Thank you.
Next, we have Trent Linville.
Commissioners, thank you all for the opportunity to speak to you all tonight. My name is Trent Linville, and I serve as the Vice Mayor of the City of Spring Hill, and I've been our city's representative on the GNRC's Transportation Policy Board for the past 2.5 years. The congestion on I-65 between 840 and Saturn Parkway affects tens of thousands of residents every day. Traffic goes abruptly from 5 lanes down to 2, creating major daily bottlenecks that aren't just frustrating, they're dangerous as well. And so the Greater Nashville Regional Council is updating its regional transportation plan right now, a process that only happens once every 5 years. This plan helps shape regional funding priorities, but this widening isn't just a Spring Hill or even just a Williamson County problem, it's a regional problem. That's why, to strengthen our position with the GNRC and with TDOT, I've authored a resolution that's been passed by Spring Hill, Columbia, and Murray County, advocating jointly for prioritizing the widening of I-65. It's on Thompson Station's consent agenda for tomorrow night, and it's on your agenda this evening as Resolution 5-25-45. Unified voices carry significantly more weight in funding decisions with the state. And so that's why we are coordinating directly with regional leaders. And once passed, we'll present our resolutions directly to GNRC and to TDOT. I want to give special thank you to Commissioners Graves and Mason for running this on our behalf for the commission tonight. I would appreciate your support tonight so that we can move forward a Williamson County priority and a regional solution. Together, we can significantly improve safety, reduce congestion, set the table for economic development, and enhance our residents' quality of life. I appreciate your consideration and support this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes citizen communications. Next item on our agenda is communications and messages. We have 4 proclamations this evening. The first proclamation is declaring May as Mental Health Awareness Month in Williamson County. And I will step up to the podium to deliver this one. Who's the lady that's going to come up? Okay, again, this proclamation is declaring May as Mental Health Awareness Month, and the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas mental health is essential to overall health, well-being, and quality of life for every individual, forming the foundation of healthy families, thriving communities, and productive workplaces. And whereas Mental Health Awareness Month is celebrated each May and was established in 1949 by Mental Health America to increase awareness of mental health issues, reduce stigma, and focus on the importance of accessible quality care for all who need it. And whereas mental health conditions affect 1 in 5 adults each year, impacting people of all ages, races, and socioeconomic backgrounds, and highlighting the critical need for early detection, support, and access to effective treatment and care. And whereas stigma and discrimination surrounding mental illness continue to create barriers, preventing many individuals from seeking help, making it vital to foster conversations that promote understanding and compassion. And whereas volunteer behavioral health is committed to making a positive impact by delivering high-quality mental health services, providing advocacy, and collaborating with community partners to meet the diverse mental health needs of individuals and families. And whereas community effort involving schools, workplaces, organizations, and individuals is key to raising awareness, building resilience, and ensuring mental health resources are widely available and accessible. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor of Williamson County, Roger C. Anderson, does hereby declare May as Mental Health Awareness Month. Thank you. I know our County Health Director, Kathy Montgomery, wanted to deliver that, but she was unable to be here tonight. Our next proclamation is honoring the 2025 wrestling finalists and champions from Williamson County Schools. Commissioner Matt Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of comments really on both proclamations. This is my favorite meeting of the year for the sole purpose that I get to recognize wrestlers from Williamson County. Wrestling is the toughest sport. You know, the physical and mental discipline that it takes to thrive in that sport is bar none, and it sets the foundation for these kids to go on and be very successful in whatever they decide to pursue. The nature of the sport tends to be very tribal. There's clubs. They're very protective of their wrestlers. Sometimes that prevents the sport from getting a little bit of visibility and spotlight in totality. And so this is a unique opportunity to really recognize the contributions of the sport, the successes of the sport across the whole county. For the longest time, you go down towards Cleveland, and that part of the state, that's really been the mecca of wrestling for years and years. And Williamson County has really become a juggernaut recently, both in the high school and in the youth with AAU. So first proclamation, I want to recognize our AAU finalists and state champions. We have 6 AAU clubs. So reading, proclamation honoring the 2025 Tennessee AAU wrestling finalists and champions from Williamson County. 88 Tennessee AAU wrestling clubs sent nearly 1,100 qualifying wrestlers that competed at the 2024-2025 State Individual Wrestling Championships hosted by the Williamson County Agricultural Center on March 1st through 2nd, 2025. And whereas Williamson County Wrestling Club, Nolensville Wrestling Club, Brentwood Wrestling Club, Fairview Wrestling Club, Franklin Wrestling Club, Grace Christian Wrestling Club, and Spartan Wrestling Club all reside within Williamson County, representing over 600 youth that wrestle between the grades of pre-kindergarten through 8th grade. And whereas collectively the clubs had 103 wrestlers qualify through regional tournaments for the Tennessee AAU State Individual Wrestling Championship, garnering 48 medalists. And whereas Williamson, and I'll actually ask if you guys could come up by name. Williamson County Wrestling Club, coached by Henry Kahn, Jesse Medina, and John Carter, had 43 qualifiers, 22 medalists, and 4 finalists, being Colton Williams at the tot division, 35 pounds. Isaiah Earls, junior division, 85 pounds. Mason Tungette, middle school division, 95 pounds. Adler Slocum, middle school division, 130 pounds. And 4 state champions, Jackson Williams, bantam division, 80 pounds. Everett Harper, middle school division, 75 pounds. And Alice Gizzy, girls division, 6th through 8th, 140 pounds. Brentwood Wrestling Club, coached by Coach Brandon Bruner, had 15 qualifiers, 6 medalists, 1 finalist. Nicholas Roberts, bantam division, 40 pounds. And 4 state champions, Ryan Russell McKay, tot division, 55 pounds. Anthony McKay, bantam division, 65 pounds. George Kaplan, bantam division, 90 pounds. Preston Lobliner, junior division, 130 pounds. Nolensville Wrestling Club, coached by Jamie Morrell, had 22 qualifiers, 8 medalists, and 1 finalist. And Jack Cromjong, bantam division, 80 pounds. And 2 state champions, Dalton Patty, middle school division, 171 pounds. And Destin Lawrence, middle school division, 260 pounds. Fairview Wrestling Club, coached by Matt Ribble, had 19 qualifiers, 10 medalists, and 1 finalist. Travis Neblett, tot division, 40 pounds. Grace Christian Wrestling Club, coached by Scott Shipman, had 2 qualifiers and 1 medalist. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Williamson County Mayor and Board of Commissioners hereby recognizes the contributions to the success of wrestling in our community and congratulates the 2025 finalists, champions, coaches, and clubs for their outstanding season, and do hereby recognize the level of excellence exemplified by each of these outstanding individuals. Y'all can sit down. Now, little wrestlers become big wrestlers. Proclamation honoring the 2025 wrestling finalists and champions from Williamson County Schools. Whereas Brentwood High School, Centennial High School, Franklin High School, Independence High School, Nolensville High School, Page High School, Ravenwood High School, and Summit High School maintain wrestling programs in the boys AA and girls divisions, and Fairview High School maintains wrestling programs in the boys A and girls divisions. And whereas Summit High School placed second overall as a team in the TSSAA State Dual Championship, and Nolensville High School placed second, and Summit High School placed third, and Ravenwood High School placed fourth in team point standings at the conclusion of the 2025 TSSAA Individual State Wrestling Championship. And whereas wrestlers from Williamson County Schools had 53 wrestlers qualify through regional and sectional tournaments for the 2025 TSSAA State Wrestling Championship, with a record tying 11 state finalists and 5 claiming the title of state champion. And whereas, and if you guys will come up, the following wrestlers were state finalists, coached by Kevin Duck and Kenny Fuller at Centennial High School. Sophomore Evangeline Mong, girls division, 100 pounds. Coached by Johnny Melzoni at Nolensville High School. Sophomore Jake Sintel, 215 pounds. And junior Nolan Barton, 113 pounds. Coached by Josh Peck at Ravenwood High School. Junior Matthew Anderson at 165 pounds. And and sophomore Maddox Eskew at 138 pounds. Coached by Pete Miller at Summit High School. Senior Peter Savarino at 285 pounds. And whereas the following wrestlers were state champions, coached by Drew DeCito at Independence High School. Senior Riddick Romano at 144 pounds. Coached by Johnny Melzoni at Nolensville High School. Junior Brody Melzoni at 165 pounds. And senior Chase Mays at 190 pounds. Coached by Pete Miller at Summit High School. Junior Zach Little, 150 pounds. And senior Braden Leach at 157 pounds, who was also awarded the Most Outstanding Wrestler Award for the entire tournament. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Williamson County Mayor and Board of Commissioners hereby congratulates the 2025 finalists, champions, coaches, and schools for their outstanding season, and do hereby recognize the level of excellence exemplified by each of these outstanding individuals. Hey, hold on, guys. Wait. Congratulations on a great season, guys.
And our final proclamation for the evening is a proclamation honoring the Grassland Middle School cheerleaders as national champions, presented by Commissioner Megan Guffey and Commissioner Petty.
I've invited several commissioners to come
Okay,
stand with
all
us.
Come on, Chaz. I think we need a turkey. Who's the flyer?
We're going to let the wrestlers get out and the girls come in.
Okay.
But Chaz is a great perky.
All right, as they're lining up, I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas the National High School Cheerleading Championship was conducted at Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida, February 2025, and televised nationally, featuring 27,000 athletes and thousands of coaches, representing 1,286 teams from 34 states across the United States. And whereas it was a long journey to get there, including several regional competitions, they placed first at the large junior high game day and grand champion in the school division at the Bullet Bash in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. First place large junior high game day and grand champion in the school game day division at the Mountain Classic in Pikeville, Kentucky. Their third straight UCA Bluegrass Regional Championship in large junior high game day in Lexington, Kentucky, a multi-state event that qualified the team for the national final, and back-to-back TSSAA state championship in large junior high game day held for the first time in Knoxville, Tennessee. And representing Grassland Middle School were the following team members: 8th graders Blair Wambacher, Blair Young, Claire McCloskey, Claire Wall, Delaney Carper, Delaney Kennedy, Emma Puffer, Frankie Gilbert, Harper Beard, Juliana Hart, Kara St. Amie, Michaela Waterman, Molly Alsip, Naomi Whitehead, Olive Mockett, Savannah Ford, Scarlett Harrelson, Sophie George, Sydney Elmore, and Sydney Williford. 7th graders Brooklyn Knight, Kate Robinson, Charlie Rose Wilkins, Christiana Dykstra, Coley Jane Stanley, Georgia Jansen, Harper Joyce, Izzy Spain, Margot Blackwelder, Meredith Barker, Morgan Baller, Nola Winton, Reagan Smith, Shannon Sifkes, and Valentina Blanco. And 6th graders Bryn Glouser, Gentry Ann Smith, Sadie Mockett, and coaches Lisa Wheeler, Aaron Schuler, Jennifer Keith, Jamie Puffer, and Malik Briggs. Whereas individually and collectively, these student athletes have trained relentlessly and overcame numerous obstacles to participate in this most prestigious cheerleading championship in the country. And whereas as national champions, each squad was awarded a UCA National Championship trophy, and each squad member received their own coveted white jackets and a national championship ring. And now therefore be it resolved that the Williamson County Board of Commissioners, meeting in regular session this 12th day of May 2025, hereby congratulates each of these individual athletes, their coaches, and their supportive parents for their achievements. Congratulations. If y'all want to come down and stand in front or squat in front, we've got to get a little tighter. Yeah. I bet y'all are used to this. How tight do you need it? Yeah, then maybe this is good. All right. A little tighter. Act like we like each other. Friday. Good? All right.
Yeah, for real. Ring? No, I would like to hear. You don't get, I want to get that. Congratulations, girls. Here we go. All right. Thank you, Coach. I have this one for you, and each girl gets a copy. Surprise, this is their last time with us. Thanks. Thank you so much.
I see one in the back. And we congratulate all that received a proclamation this evening. Always one of the favorite parts of the evening. Still under communications and messages, we have a few reminders. One, reminder that the filing deadline for the June 9th Commissioner meeting will be 4:30 on Friday. That's due to the May 23rd Memorial Day holiday, which falls on the 26th. Under that same heading, just a reminder, we always welcome all to the annual Williamson County Memorial Day ceremony. That will be that Monday, May 26th at 10 a.m. at Veterans Memorial Park, also sometimes referred to as 5 Points there in downtown Franklin. Hope everyone can attend that. We've got a few requests. We have a request to move up Resolutions 28 and 29 to accommodate those who are here in the audience to hear those. We also have a request for 2 late filed resolutions, Resolution 46 under Appropriations and Resolution 45 under Other. If there are no objections, we will make those changes. And I see none. I don't have the titles in front of me, but the ones we're moving up are Resolution 28 and 29. And the late filed resolutions are 46 and 45. 28 is a resolution adopting a general artificial intelligence policy. Resolution, what's the other one? 29 is a resolution accepting a donation from Boy Scout Troop 297. And then lastly, under communications and messages, I believe Commissioner Jeff Graves would like to say a few words to this body.
Thank you, Chairman. Some of you, or many of you may know, I will be relocating out of state. I've taken a role as a pastor of a church in Indiana in June. And so this will be my last official full commission meeting, and I will be resigning my seat effective the end of May, the 31st. And I just wanted to share, it's been a privilege and honor to serve not only the citizens of District 3, but also to serve with each one of you as we serve this great county. And I appreciate the time and work that each of you put in serving your constituents, and it's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Graves. It's been an honor to serve with you, and we wish you all the best in your new endeavors. And I believe Commissioner Mason would like to say a few words.
Thank you. First of all, I want to wish Jeff or Commissioner Graves all the best. I've enjoyed having him as my counterpart in District 3. He was very good at this job and took his responsibilities very seriously, and so I appreciate having somebody that I can rely on and who I know has the best county's interest at heart. I also want to just clarify so everybody's clear of the procedure moving forward. So Mr. Mosley, if you could kind of advise us, given our guidelines and our rules, what the process will look like.
The vacancy will be created with the resignation effective May 31st, which is a vacancy in county office, and you need to fill it within 120 days. It will be for the remaining term of office or until the next general, which will be in August of 2026. There will be a primary in May, obviously. So this will be for that period of time. Historically, there has been some commissioner courtesy as to the nominating process with, in this case, Commissioner Mason nominating to fill the vacancy, but other nominations can be made from the floor as well. There is no requirement that it be done at the next meeting. You do have a few months that you can do it and comply with state law. And anyone that knows someone that wishes to serve, they can direct them to Commissioner Mason for interviews, I assume.
And do we have a 2-week or 30-day open period for those interested to submit their application to the mayor's office?
It's really up to you. It's not been advertised, obviously, and won't be until the vacancy occurs. So the earliest would be at the June meeting, and it could go through the September meeting.
Okay, thank you. I would just encourage anybody who's listening or anybody who is following online that if they are interested, please reach out to me at my county issued email address. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mason. Nothing else under communications and messages. Next item on our agenda is reports of county offices. Mayor Rogers Anderson is in Brentwood currently. He's swearing in the newly elected city commissioners there. So in his absence, the chair recognizes Mrs. Phoebe Riley.
Thank you and good evening. Since we started this evening on such a high note with our student athletes, I will try to do my part to keep that going. So I am happy to report this afternoon that the month of March has been the largest month of fee collections for both of our privilege tax and education impact fees for this fiscal year. Privilege tax total collections for the month was a little over $2 million. This is an increase over the previous month of February for a total of $847,891. So this is our record high for the year so far. Our total net collections for education impact fee for the month of March was a little over $2.3 million. This was an increase of $460,359. The county also received a record profit for the month of March from our Cool Springs Conference Center in the amount of $167,881. I know this is the largest profit we've received in a single month since I have been director, and if I am not mistaken, you can look on your reports, I think it goes back for the last 10 years. We have not been close to that number since fiscal year 18-19. So we have had a record month for the month of March. So I see that we are going to finish out the fiscal year strong. As a reminder, I would like to remind the commission that tomorrow evening, the Budget Committee will meet at 4:30 in the Executive Conference Room to review and vote on the fiscal year 25-26 consolidated budget. If you have any questions at this time, I'd be happy to take those.
Any questions for Mrs. Riley? I have a question here from Commissioner Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really don't have a question for you, Phoebe, other than I talked to the mayor about having Brad come up and give us an update on the reappraisal. I didn't know if that was on the agenda or not. Okay, all right.
Yes, you do not want to hear from me, but he will be right here.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Mrs. Riley? I see none.
Thank you.
And right on cue, Mr. Brad Coleman is here to give us an update on a resolution in your packet concerning property appraisals.
Yes, so, I stood before you all in September and gave a kind of a kickoff update about reappraisal 2025, where we anticipated a 55% increase in property values. Where we have landed overall for taxable property in Williamson County is 52%. So that is what our certified tax rate will be based on. That's that revenue neutral tax rate that you begin with, that you then take the needs of your current budget to go against. The one thing that kind of stands out that's of interest this year is our residential property. The overall residential property increase is 62%. The irony of that is this is the shortest reappraisal time period we've ever had, going to a 4-year reappraisal, yet it's the largest increase in value. Of course, that's largely due to the 21 and 22 real estate market, when things were going up 2% and 3% a month during that time period. So we have kind of closed the end of 9 months of hard work, and today was the kickoff, day one of the second part of a reappraisal. So postcards did hit mailboxes today. If you have not been home yet, it should be sitting in your mailbox. And so we have been very active on the third floor in the West Wing, and if you would like to come and visit tomorrow, we would welcome that fully. So I had hoped to be able to come before you with a approved certified tax rate tonight. That was sent to the State Board of Equalization on Friday. I have been in constant communication with them. I feel confident enough to tell you that that number will be just shy of $1.25. So we're looking at a 124.83 is our proposed certified tax rate, pending approval from the State Board of Equalization. I expect to have that within the next 48 hours, and so it's possible that you might have that for the budget members tomorrow night. Be glad to take any questions you might have.
Any questions for Mr. Coleman? I have one here from Commissioner Mary Smith.
Yeah, so I'm already getting the text from friends.
Sure.
And so obviously there's some shock, some up to 4 times more their assessed values come back. Can you just walk through the procedure on if they want to appeal, kind of just what those next steps look like for anybody that wants to reach out to you.
Yes, so on the back of that postcard, you're going to see two numbers, one for residential and one for commercial, along with a paragraph. It's pretty wordy, but we're trying to educate as much as we can on the back of that, how that process starts. So very simply, you call that number if you're a residential homeowner, you call that residential line. That's just going to be a conversation with one of my 8 appraisers and stating your case of why you think that value is higher than it should be. What we find every reappraisal, and today was no different, a lot of that's just education. There's a lot of fear that is evoked in that postcard, as we all might imagine, as I feel. My property went up 66%. Does that mean my property tax is going up 66%? And while the answer is I can't fully answer that until you all decide on a tax rate, there's 2 variables. One piece of that's my number, and then one is the tax rate that will be voted on by this commission. That revenue neutral rate is going to be that $1.25, and then we'll go from there to see where that lands. But so the short answer to those questions today is I can't fully answer that. I would anticipate that the answer is going to be no. I would not expect that we're going to be landing at $1.88 on that tax rate, but depending on where that tax rate lands, that's the increase that they're going to be looking at. In a perfect world, we would have both of those variables available today. It would make our lives much easier, I think.
And just to kind of clarify, so if we go with the certified tax rate, because I think that's where people, I know we haven't voted on tax rate, but the neutral rate, if you take that could, if your property assessed for more than that 62%, you could, or 52%, you could see an increase if we keep the same certified rate.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So that 52% that's the even line for the certified rate. So anything above that, you would anticipate an increase. Anything under that, you would anticipate a decrease.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Brad.
Yes, sir.
Could you address, I've had some questions from seniors on fixed income. What options might they have if they feel like this is going to be unbearable for them if they get an increase?
Sure. So there is 3 forms of tax relief in Williamson County. All 3 of those are administered through the trustee's office. Ms. Karen Paris and her staff take care of that. The first level is a state broad-based tax incentive or rebate is what it turns out being. That's also the lowest threshold for income. Again, we don't handle that in our office, but Ms. Paris has all that information posted on her website. The county commission came in many years ago, predated me, and said that threshold was a little too low, and so they came on top of that with a higher threshold for income limits. And then the third piece of that is the tax freeze, which I believe is just over $60,000 total household income, where your taxes are frozen at their current rate. So no matter what happens with the market value of the property and or that tax rate, once that tax is frozen, if the tax were to increase in years after, it would not. It would stay at that frozen amount as long as that person stayed at the home.
But it's important for them to know that they have to apply for that, correct, through Karen Paris's.
Apply and qualify, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
Commissioner Williams.
Brad, thank you for giving us the update. Last year, I know I was looking because we're at $1.88 currently, and when I was looking, I believe we were 7th in the state when it comes to property tax rate. I mean, there were 6 counties that had a lower tax rate than what we currently do. I mean, to think that the certified rate's roughly $1.25, I mean, that's unfathomable. I mean, part of what I think about is the net wealth that's been generated across the county with everybody's properties. Do you have any context? $1.25. What's the next closest property tax rate in the county? Do you know that by chance?
I don't. You are correct. I think when you have an average property value of $1 million, that helps us keep a low tax rate for sure. If we go to our neighbor to the north who has just had their reappraisal, and they're at about a 45% increase, but a much higher tax rate. But of course, their average home value is much lower as well.
Last year, and this is 6 or 7 months ago, it could have changed maybe potentially between there, but it was $1.57. It was the lowest property tax rate in the entire state, was $1.57. So I don't know. I just think context is helpful when we're talking about these tax rates, because I mean that's unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, we've even kind of jokingly, but not really, in the office talked about in the next reappraisal, could we look at a 2-digit tax rate because of value? It's possible you could get there.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Torres.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This may be for Phoebe, but Brad, you may be able to answer it. Do we have an idea what the penny calculation is going to work out to at that $1.25?
Yeah, so it goes against what that overall total assessed value is. So last year our total assessed value was $19.3 billion. And so after May 5th, when we enacted these new values, that number went to $29 billion. And so that $29 billion is going to generate for each penny just shy of $3 million, $2.9 million per penny.
Incredible. Any other questions or comments for Mr. Coleman? I see none.
Thank you very much.
Next, under reports of county offices, we're going to get an update from Jeff Mosley here on the county seal.
Yes, I've received a few inquiries based on the change in the law. The state legislature in April of this year passed Public Chapter 389, which designated the official governmental seal of a city or a county, which represents any historic conflict, historic entity, historic event, historic figure, or historic organization as a memorial. That's significant because the county seal litigation up to this point, we had filed what's known as a petition for declaratory order with the Historical Commission, arguing that the county seal was not a memorial and therefore we were not under the jurisdiction of the Historical Commission, the Tennessee Historical Commission. Many of you will remember this started in September of 2020 when this body passed an authorization for the mayor to file a petition with the Tennessee Historical Commission. Since then, we filed a petition for declaratory order and won. The Historical Commission agreed with us that the seal was not part of their jurisdiction. That has since gone through Davidson County Chancery Court and is up on appeal. In April, this law changed the definition of memorial to include a county seal. I have been in contact with the Attorney General's office, who is the one defending the Historical Commission in this, and they're waiting to make a final determination as to what the impact of the law looks like to them. It's my opinion that it is likely that this law will render the current appeal moot. And the reason for that is again, we had argued that it was not within the jurisdiction of the Historical Commission, and they agreed, so we never got to the merits of the petition for waiver. If we were to win the appeal, we would still not have acted, and we would now be subject to the new law, which actually doesn't go back to the Historical Commission, goes to a newly created Memorial and Monuments Commission at the state. So we'd have a different entity we would be filing with, and we would be starting over. So at this point, we anticipate within the next couple of weeks, the AG's office, the Sons of the Confederacy, and myself will have conversations as to this impact and decide if it is moot and what the potential redress or consequences of that would be. If everyone's in agreement, then we will file an order or a motion for an order with the Court of Appeals. If there's disagreement, we will have to argue about an order to dismiss, a motion to dismiss, and a motion to hold the current litigation in abeyance while that was taken up by the Court of Appeals. So I don't anticipate this moving further at this point, and certainly not very quickly. If the parties agree it is moot, then the appeal will be put on abeyance, and this commission right now has authorized the mayor to continue to seek a petition or waiver from the Historical Commission, now the Monuments and Memorials Commission, and it would be helpful to us to have direction from the county commission as to what they want to do going forward. So I'm not asking for a motion tonight, because I do not think we've given appropriate public notice to get input as to what that might be. But if the county commission wanted to change its position on authorizing the seeking permission to modify the county seal. That would be done through a resolution in the coming months. And of course, I'll update you when we get any type of agreement with the necessary parties going forward. But right now, it's my opinion that it's pretty much mooted out the litigation. And it's not like we won, because we're back to square one, is really where I'm standing, at least until the AG's office tells me something different and convinces me different. I don't see how we could proceed under the assumption that we won the permission to change the county seal, which we never really discussed what that might look like. But at this point, I think we'd have to go back to Monuments and Memorials Commission, and that is a relatively high standard to get permission to remove a memorial as defined by the statute. So,
Any questions for Mr. Mosley? I'm seeing none. So we'll move on to the Williamson County Schools report from Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Jason Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Commissioners. And Commissioners, thank you especially for celebrating some of our students and their successes. This is the time of year where our students are celebrating successes and having a little bit of stress as they're taking exams. The TCAP, the state testing is finished, but some AP exams are still coming, that kind of thing. And our students will finish next week. Next Thursday is their last day. When you all celebrated our students, you gave me a prompt that as we celebrate our students this time of year, we have an athletics banquet, we have an arts banquet, and one of my favorite events is when we thank our students who have committed themselves to the U.S. military. I thought I'd give you some statistics for this year. This year, 42 of our students, 42 of our seniors have committed themselves to the U.S. military. Some of you have been through this great celebration we have for our students. And I talked to our school board about some statistics. If I'm not mistaken, the most recent data we've seen is 0.36% of the U.S. population is active duty military right now. Those 42 students who committed to the U.S. military from Williamson County Schools represent about 1.2% of our total senior class. So 1.2% doesn't sound like much, but that's close to triple the rate of active duty military. Now, some of those students are committed to the academies. Some of those students are committed to the National Guard. Some of those students are direct enlistments. But I thank them, and our board members thank them for that commitment to our country just last week, and I felt like it's important for you all to hear that. What our parents and what our students do in this community matters. One other statistic I mentioned, and some of you have experienced this yourself, 25% of our school board are veterans. So we've got those tiny percentages of active duty, and yet there's such a larger percentage of veterans who come back and serve their community after they've served us at a national level. So we're very proud of that. Mr. Chair, we do have a number of items on your agenda tonight. A couple of them are revenue neutral, 4 of them are expense, and 1 is a net revenue. So certainly open any questions you may have either now or when those items hit.
I've got a question here from Commissioner Mary Smith.
Not really a question, but just to what you're speaking to, I just want to say that Williamson County Schools did my son a huge favor. He earned himself a Gold Star, United States Merchant Marine Academy, and I am very grateful for the engineering program that you have at Page High School. It is really bringing out some stellar students, and so sorry I just had to take that little moment to brag, but
Thank you for that, Commissioner Smith. I've got to say, we celebrated your son and his commitment to the Academy last year, and it actually triggered a lot of discussion among us where we went back and studied the Merchant Marine. One fact that I remember specifically is the Merchant Marine Academy has authority to fly their battle flag at their academy all the time because of the number of merchant Marines who were killed in duty during World War II. No branch of the armed services has that authority nationally, and so that sacrifice is a legacy that I know your son is learning as well.
Yep, they talk about it a lot.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments for Superintendent Golden? I see none.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have our hospital report, CEO Phil Mazuka and Mike Genesee. are not here. So we've got Julie Miller in their stead.
We still brought the short and tall, though.
That's right, yes. Good evening. Julie Miller, Chief Operating Officer, and I just have a very brief update before Leanne talks about the financials. This week is Hospital Week. It's recognized throughout the country, and we really try to celebrate and recognize our staff for all that they do, and we do different events throughout the week, but one of the things that we did today, which I think we really enjoy, is we recognize staff members for their longevity at the hospital. And we have had, today was 50 years to 20 years. And we celebrated an employee that's been with the hospital for 50 years. We had one that's been there for 45 years. We had a 40-year. We had 3 for 35 and 5 for 30. And a lot of them could talk about when the hospital moved from the place where we're sitting today to our new facility where we are. So it was just really a lot of fun to celebrate them and recognize them. And so we'll be doing that throughout the week. So that's all my update today.
And I'm the numbers person for today. Our month of March, we actually had a good month. Net revenue, this is net operating revenue, was a little over $30 million on a budget of $29 million. Operating expenses, $31 million against a budget of $30 million. Non-operating revenue expense, $1.3 million versus a budget of $761,000. So the bottom line, we were ahead of budget. We had a bottom line of $102,000 versus a budget of $70,000. Year to date, we're also ahead of budget. We're at $5.1 million profitability against a budget of $4.2 million. Our operating cash did increase by a little over $5 million. And all our statistics were relatively flat. Some were up just a little bit from the averages that we had. Admissions were down a little bit, but for the adults, peds were up 3. Emergency room visits were also up slightly. So,
All right.
any questions?
Any questions on the hospital report? I've got a question from Commissioner Petty.
I'm over here. Hello, here.
Got it. Sorry.
Okay. I hate to sandbag here a little bit, but you know, I know that we're losing a lot of money on the ambulance service, and it's something like $12 million a year that we're losing. Is that correct? That's what I've been told.
Yeah, about
You're coming to us this year for an additional $4 million, and I understand that's
Yes.
a problem.
Yes, sir.
What I don't understand is exactly how that happens. I realize that Medicaid pays just like $500 per trip, which doesn't even come close to paying for a typical trip. And by the way, I think our ambulance service is awesome. The combination of what we do here at the county and what you folks do to man those ambulances is, I think we have one of the best services in the country. So I have no problem with that. But what concerns me is that why are we unable to collect on these trips? I would think that if the insurance pays a certain part of it, I understand the Medicaid part. If somebody's on Medicaid, there's not going to be able to afford to pay. I get that. But we're the richest county in the state. And if somebody comes to my house to pick me up, which I hope that doesn't happen too soon, and my insurance doesn't pay for it all, I'm on the hook for the rest of it. Do I have that right? I mean, I'm responsible for the rest of the payment of that trip. Is that correct?
Not completely. Your insurance would, pick up.
Yeah, my insurance would, but
Yes.
yeah, but whatever's left over, I'm responsible for, correct?
There's still a contractual amount that we have to write off because of whatever your insurance type is. So it's not whatever you're charged less what's paid. There's still a difference in there. So you wouldn't be responsible for 100% of that difference.
No, but for a portion of it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
that's true.
But we're having a hard time collecting that portion as well, is that correct?
We're collecting about at the same level as we do on regular hospital patients.
Okay. All right, just for clarity, because that's a lot of money, $12 million a year, and I get it. But at the other side of it, a human life is worth, what's a human life worth, and you do have a tremendous service. I'm not arguing that for a second.
Commissioner Torres.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question. In our packet, we had February's financial statement, or the highlights. And I noticed that for February month ending, it showed debt coverage at 2.14. And then for this report in March, it's showing prior month is 2.34. Is that just a typographical error, or because it's impacting if it's an increase or a decrease on debt coverage?
Let me check. I'll have to check on
Okay.
that.
All right, thank you.
Sorry.
Any other questions on the hospital report? I see none. Thank you both. Any other reports of county offices this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to elections and appointments. Tonight we have 3 nominations for Hospital Board of Trustees. We will be voting on these individually. These are 3-year terms expiring at 5 of 28. The first term expiring, Commissioner Matt Williams, nomination Matt Williams. I'll entertain a motion. I have a motion from Commissioner Smith, seconded by Commissioner Tunnicliffe. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor of the nomination, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please. Nomination passes. Next, we have an at-large member, terms expiring. Jim Cross, nomination of Jim Cross. Got a proper motion made by Commissioner Megan Guffey, seconded by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe. Any questions or comments on that nomination? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor of the nomination, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
19 yes, 2 no, 2 abstain.
Nomination passes. And third and last is County Commissioner David Landrum, term expiring David Landrum. And the nomination is Megan Guffey, Commissioner Megan Guffey. Proper motion made by Commissioner Clifford and seconded by Commissioner Tunnicliffe. Any questions or comments on that nomination? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor of the nomination, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
19 yes, 1 no, 3 abstain.
Nomination passes. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion. Proper motion made by Commissioner Tunnicliffe, seconded by Commissioner O'Neill. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? I see none. If you're ready to vote, if you're in favor of the consent agenda, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Commissioner Williams? Record the vote, please. Motion passes. We have no unfinished business, and there are no zoning matters to come before us tonight. So our first resolution, and again, these are the resolutions that we chose to move up. The first one being Resolution 52529, a resolution accepting a donation from Boy Scout Troop 297 in Fairview on behalf of the Williamson County Library. I've got a proper motion made by Commissioner David O'Neill, seconded by Commissioner Megan Guffey. Property Committee was 4-4, 0 against. And if there's anyone here from Troop 297, if you don't mind standing so we can recognize you. An explanation, please, Commissioner Hayes.
There are too many in this packet. It's 29, right? Still digging.
Here, Mosley has it.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
All right. Yeah, so this is a donation. The Williamson County Library in Fairview branch has received a donation, a picnic area from the Boy Scouts Troop 297 in Fairview, led by Scout Johnny Jones. And it is also donated, services donated by the Friends of Fairview Library, Smyrna Ready Mix, and Williamson County Highway Department. So,
Any questions or comments? I have a question or comment from Commissioner Steve Smith.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask the scout, was this a Eagle project? Congratulations.
All right.
yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. The other resolution that we had moved up is Resolution 52528, a resolution adopting a generative artificial intelligence policy for Williamson County departments. Proper motion made by Commissioner David O'Neill and seconded by Commissioner Megan Guffey. Human Resources was 5-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. I know that our IT Director, Sean Cothran, is here if you have any questions. Explanation, please. Commissioner Webb.
Mr. Chair, I was going to ask Sean to come up and answer these questions.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Sean, I don't know enough about it. You want to explain what we've got here?
So this is to establish some governance around AI. We know that AI is a very powerful tool, but we want to ensure the integrity of our data and protect the healthcare information and personally identifiable information, and lay out some, I guess, for the lack of a better word, punishment for doing things that you're not supposed to. It would fall under the computer use policy.
Thank you, Sean.
And I have a question or comment first up from Commissioner Sturgeon.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm just curious, can you give me an example, a real-life example of what you're concerned about and how this will address it?
Generative AI makes content, so I know we've all seen videos and sound clips that were not real, so it protects us against that. It also protects our data. As I said, our personal health care information and our employees' personal identifiable information, laying out guidelines not to put any of that into any AI tool. It establishes that we want AI, but we want it in an ethical manner.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Hayes.
Quick question. Does this policy, because I haven't combed through it in detail, would this limit our ability to use AI to record meetings so that we get an accurate?
It would not.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. Cothran? I see none.
Thank you.
So if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor of Resolution 52528, press your yes button. Any opposed or no? Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 5254, resolution amending the 24-25 Highway Department budget and appropriating up to $50,000 for personnel needs during severe inclement weather events. Revenues to come from unappropriated highway fund balance. Proper motion made by Commissioner Greg Sanford, seconded by Commissioner Judy Herbert. The Highway Commission was 5-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
This is to cover the overtime during the ice and snow this winter.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, press your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52510, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute an agreement with the Refuge Center for Counseling to provide opioid abatement and remediation services and appropriating funds for those services. Appropriations to come from opioid abatement funds. Proper motion made by Commissioner Judy Herbert and seconded by Commissioner Megan Guffey. The opioid task force was 8-4-0 against. Public Health Committee was 3-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
This is for the Refuge Center to do counseling at the Williamson Medical Center Emergency Department to patients experiencing mental health emergency or with substance abuse issues.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52511, resolution for intercategory adjustment of $10,119,750 for reclassification of coaches for the 24-25 budget year. Proper motion made by Commissioner Steve Smith and seconded by Commissioner Megan Guffey. School Board was 11-4-0 against. Education Committee was 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Aiello.
Well, thank you. I go from Chair Pro Tem to sitting in a darkened corner, but that's fine. This is a resolution for a reclassification. Teacher, there's no added funds. It's just a reallocation of categories.
Any questions? I see none. If you're in favor, press your yes button. If you're opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52512, resolution requesting an intent to fund in the amount of $13,815,425 for the Williamson County Board of Education 24-25 security technology needs. Proper motion made by Commissioner Sean Aiello, seconded by Commissioner Megan Guffey. School Board was 11-4-0 against. Education Committee 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Aiello.
Yes, this is a resolution dealing with capital improvements for security needs. The items themselves are explained on the resolution.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52513, resolution requesting an intent to fund in the amount of $12,153,000 for the Williamson County Board of Education 24-25 major asphalt, roofs, and HVAC needs. Proper motion made by Commissioner Aiello, seconded by Commissioner Tunnicliffe. School Board was 11-4-0 against. Education Committee 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Aiello.
This is the resolution for the annual rotating needs for major improvements, asphalt, roofs, and HVAC on the amounts described.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52514, resolution of the Williamson County Board of County Commissioners approval of an intent to fund of up to $6,600,000 and first draw of $3 million for the renovation of Hillsborough K-8. Proper motion made by Commissioner Aiello, seconded by Commissioner Tunnicliffe. The school board was 11-4-0 against. Education Committee was 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against as amended, amending the total to $3 million. Explanation, please, Commissioner Aiello.
Yes, self-explanatory first draw, but I believe there is some question on the amendment.
First question is from Commissioner Herbert.
I was just doing a thing to do the amendment to $3 million, doing the motion to amend it to
Gotcha.
$3 million. That's what the Budget Committee decided to do, is to not fund a project in the future for other commissioners to vote on it. We will fund the $3 million, not the $6 million.
Correct. And I have a proper motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Guffey. And the amendment is not loaded, so we'll need a voice vote. But first, are there any questions or comments on the amendment? And again, the amendment is reducing this down, taking out what might have to be voted on by a later commission, and reducing it by $3 million. Any questions or comments on that?
Reducing it to $3 million.
Yeah, reducing it to $3 million, sorry. I see no questions or comments, so we'll do a voice vote. Is that going to be a roll call or just a? Oh.
There's verbiage on here about first draw, so it's 3 million. That's just it. There's not going to be a first and second draw that we're voting, correct?
If the amendment passes.
Okay.
So it's just the draw, not first draw.
The amendment would change the resolution to a total intent to fund of $3 million with the first draw of $3 million, even though the project may have a second draw in the next term of the next county legislative body. This only deals with that first draw.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments on the amendment? Will this be a roll call or a?
Unless it's too close.
Okay. We'll do a voice vote. If it's too close to call, we'll do a roll call. If you're in favor of the amendment, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Amendment passes. We're back to the resolution at hand. Any questions or comments on the resolution as amended? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor of the resolution as amended, signify by pressing your yes button. If you're opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52515, resolution of the Williamson County Board of County Commissioners, approval of intent to fund of up to $7 million and first draw of $1 million for the renovation of Grassland Middle School. Proper motion made by Commissioner Aiello, seconded by Commissioner Tunnicliffe. The school board was 11-4, 0 against. Education Committee was 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against as amended. And as similarly, it was amended to have a total of $1 million. Explanation, please, Commissioner Aiello.
Same as the previous, just as to Grassland Middle School, and I believe there's an amendment forthcoming.
And Commissioner Herbert.
Yeah, I wanted to amend it to 1 million with the same as the previous resolution, because that's all that they're needing at this time, and the rest can be for the next commissioners.
I have a motion to amend the resolution to $1 million. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Sturgeon. And any questions or comments on the amendment? Seeing none, we'll do a voice vote on the amendment. If you're in favor of the amendment, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Amendment passes. We're now back to the resolution as amended. Any questions or comments on the resolution as amended? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52516, resolution amending the 24-25 general purpose school fund budget by $4 million for letter grade bonuses. Proper motion made by Commissioner Megan Guffey, seconded by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe. School board was 11-4-0 against. Education Committee 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Aiello.
After a special session, the appropriated reward this year is $4 million.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Commissioner Hayes, oh, there we go. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52517, resolution amending the 24-25 Central Cafeteria Fund budget by $2,080,927.52 for additional expenditures from excess fund balance. Proper motion made by Commissioner Sean Aiello, seconded by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe. School board was 11-4-0 against. Education Committee 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Aiello.
Yes, end of the fiscal year, there's an excess fund balance that needs to be spent.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52518, resolution appropriating and amending the 24-25 Circuit Court Clerk's budget by $43,755. Revenues to come from reserve accounts. Proper motion made by Commissioner David O'Neill and seconded by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe. The Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
This is for office equipment to be paid with reserve funds from the Circuit Court Clerk's office.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, press your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Commissioner Williams? Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52519, resolution appropriating and amending the 24-25 library budget by $640. Revenues to come from donations and memorials. Proper motion made by Commissioner Greg Sanford and seconded by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe. Library Board was 5-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Webb.
Now, Mr. Chair, this is pretty simple. We've got some donations. We're going to spend this on books and other charges at the library.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52520, resolution appropriating and amending the 24-25 Animal Center office budget by $26,000 for the purchase of a vehicle, revenues to come from donations. Proper motion made by Commissioner Lisa Hayes, seconded by Commissioner Steve Smith. The Public Health Committee was 3-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
This is a donation to the animal control to purchase a vehicle, since some of the other ones they have are constantly needing maintenance.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, press your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Commissioner Webb is absent momentarily. If you'll mark him as absent just for this vote, thank you. Record the vote, please.
22 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52521, resolution accepting donations from Kevin and Kelly Cox on behalf of the Sunrise Dog Walking Volunteers of Williamson County Animal Center, and a grant awarded by Petco Love for drugs and medical supplies, and appropriating and amending the 24-25 Animal Center budget by $2,053. Revenues to come from donations. Proper motion made by Commissioner Steve Smith, seconded by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe. Public Health was 3-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
The Sunrise Dog Walking Volunteers have donated $1,000 to be used for kennels sponsorship in loving memory of Van Tucker. And also Petco Love has done a grant also.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. If you're opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Commissioner Mason, there we go, and record the vote, please.
22 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52523, resolution appropriating and amending the 24-25 Parks and Recreation Department budget by $150,000, revenues to come from participant fees. Proper motion made by Commissioner Tunnicliffe, seconded by Commissioner Mary Smith. Parks and Recreation Committee was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
This is revenue fees for the Performing Arts Center.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Anyone opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please. Resolution passes. Resolution 52520.
I think you hit the wrong button.
Oh, sorry.
I came back in, I had to push present again, and then when I pushed present, I meant to push yes, so I'd ask them to change that to a yes vote, please.
Okay, it looks like it's been changed electronically, and if we can, just make sure that for the record in the minutes and next month, that it's so noted that Resolution 52523, Commissioner Paul Webb voted yes. Moving on to Resolution 52524, resolution appropriating and amending the 24-25 Parks and Recreation budget by $178,118.07. Revenues to come from donations. Proper motion made by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe, seconded by Commissioner Greg Sanford. The Parks and Recreation Committee was 4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
These are donations from the Community Youth Associations, Convention Visitors Bureau, and the South Williamson Youth Athletics.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52525, resolution appropriating and amending the 24-25 Public Safety Emergency Communications budget by $36,000. Revenues to come from contributions received from the Emergency Communications District. Proper motion made by Commissioner David O'Neill, seconded by Commissioner Barb Sturgeon. The ECD Board was 7-4, 0 against. Law Enforcement and Public Safety was 4-4, 0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4, 0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Tunnicliffe.
Yes, sir. We're just going to increase this budget a little bit here to solve some of the challenges they're having, which I don't remember what they were from the meeting, so I apologize. I'm reading it, and it still doesn't ring a bell. I apologize.
It's okay.
Ongoing commitment to delivering prompt and efficient service. I don't want to read this whole thing.
Looks like the revenues are mostly coming from contributions.
Correct.
Any
AI.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Commissioner Tunnicliffe?
Yes, sir.
All right. Record the vote, please. Resolution passes. Resolution 52526, resolution authorizing Williamson County to participate in an education incentive program by matching the state incentive payment for qualified volunteer firefighters and establishing a similar program for qualified emergency response personnel in Williamson County and appropriating and amending the 24-25 public safety budget, revenues to come from the state of Tennessee, and unappropriated county general fund balance. Proper motion made by Commissioner Tunnicliffe, seconded by Commissioner Steve Smith. The Law Enforcement Committee was 4-4, 0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4, 0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Tunnicliffe.
And this is matching the program we have for our volunteer firefighters and then our qualified match from the county for those that are qualified to receive it.
And question or comment from Commissioner Sanford.
Just for the record, I'm a lieutenant with the Arrington Volunteer Fire Department, and I've never taken any of this money. I've refused it every year, and I'll be voting my conscience on this.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52527, resolution appropriating and amending the 24-25 county clerk's budget by $50,000, revenues to come from reserve account. Proper motion made by Commissioner Megan Guffey and seconded by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe. Budget Committee was 4-4, 0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
This is for overtime for the county clerk's office and will be paid out of the reserve funds.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please. Resolution passes. Late filed resolution 52546, resolution appropriating and amending the 24-25 clerk and master's chancery court budget by $16,309, revenues to come from reserve account. Proper motion made by Commissioner Greg Sanford and seconded by Commissioner Megan Guffey. Budget Committee was 4-4, 0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
This is data entry fees that were collected by Chancery Court Clerk, and it will fund for laptop computers for them.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Commissioner Hayes? All right. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 525-1, resolution amending the rules, regulations, and procedures of the Williamson County Board of Commissioners concerning the publication of committee meeting agendas. Proper motion made by Commissioner David O'Neill, seconded by Commissioner Lisa Hayes. Rules Committee took no action. Explanation, please, Commissioner Richards.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This rule would require all committee meetings to have an agenda published 48 hours in advance on the county website. The state did, and legal, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, the state did just pass a law that is now requiring that of the budget committees. So it would bring the rest of our committees in line with that state law. I am noticing here that since the Rules Committee did not want to hear this resolution, that the resolution will have to be amended because it says, under now therefore be it resolved, and upon recommendation of the Rules Committee, which is no longer the case.
I've got a question or comment from Commissioner Clifford, unless you want to respond.
No, he said he'd have to amend it.
Okay. Do you wish to make that amendment now, Commissioner Richards? Or?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I have an amendment to remove the line. Let's see, what part of this would we be removing? Just
That's where it says, we would take out and upon recommendation of the Rules Committee.
we would take out and upon recommendation of the Rules Committee. I have
Correct.
a proper motion on that. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Stresser. I have some questions and comment on the board, but I'll ask if it has to do with the amendment. So Commissioner Clifford on the amendment?
No, sir.
Any questions or comments on the amendment? If not, if you're ready to vote on the amendment, we will do that by voice vote. If you're in favor of amending the resolution to remove the line "and upon recommendation of the Rules Committee," then signify by saying yes. Or aye. Yeah. Any opposed? We had Commissioner Webb and Commissioner Herbert. Hands up, I guess if you, on the no vote, just hands up for the no vote. Commissioner Herbert and Commissioner Webb. And I see no others. So the amendment does pass. Now we're back to the resolution as a whole. Commissioner Clifford on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I could, I'd like to ask some questions of the Chair of the Rules Committee, if you would permit me.
Absolutely.
I believe the Chair is Sean Aiello. Commissioner Aiello, was the resolution presented at the Rules Committee?
Yes, it was.
Was the resolution discussed at all during the Rules Committee?
It was not up for discussion as it did not receive a second.
Okay. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to defer this. I think the committee structure gives the opportunity for debate on our resolutions, and perhaps the second time around, the sponsor may have a better chance at getting this into committee.
I have a motion to defer. Do I hear a second? And we do need a definitive time for a deferral. Commissioner Clifford, do you have a date in mind?
I would make the motion to defer until June, as I also anticipate a slurry of amendments and discussion here tonight, and I think that's more appropriate for the committee.
Does the Rules Committee already have they meet in June? The Rules Committee meets as needed. Okay. Recognizing that the Rules Committee meets as needed, but I do have a motion on the floor to defer it to June, so we would try to get a Rules Committee set up by then.
You don't have a second.
But I don't yet have a second. Second from Commissioner Webb. So I have a proper motion and second to defer this resolution to the June meeting. Any questions or comments on the deferral? Commissioner Aiello on the deferral.
Only that we'll work to get a meeting set before the June meeting to accommodate if this is deferred.
Okay. Commissioner Petty on the amendment to defer.
I don't see any point in deferring it. We're here gathered, all of us right now. We can talk about it. This is something I think we really should be doing, and I'm very comfortable with us having a proper discussion about it right now. And I don't see any reason to defer it.
Do I have a question from Commissioner Hayes?
By the way, I hit my motion button by accident, so technically, I tried to take it back, but I couldn't. It doesn't allow you to unmotion, so.
So you.
I agree with Commissioner Petty. I'm not really sure why we can't discuss that here. I mean, this is something that we should be doing. It's all about transparency, so, again, my apologies. I hit it and went, oh, damn. So, just so it's on the record.
Any other questions or comments on the amendment to defer? Commissioner Morton.
If adopted, when would this go into effect?
Would this be for next year's rules, or would that be for?
I believe that would be a question for council.
It doesn't have any deferred effective date, so it would become effective immediately upon signature of the mayor.
Any other questions on the amendment to defer until June? Commissioner Steve Smith.
No, Bill Petty.
Oh, I'm sorry. Seeing no other questions on the amendment to defer, we will do a voice
I
vote.
just want to,
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw the wrong. I'm sorry, Commissioner Petty.
okay, I just want to follow up something that Frank Limpus said earlier. We invite the public to come to all of our meetings and make public comments, but we don't tell the public what we're talking about. If you go on our website, the only meeting that we get an agenda or any packet on is this meeting we're having here. So I think it's really important that we allow the public to know what's going on in our meetings, so if they want to come and make a comment.
Let me just start. This, right now, we're asking about questions on the deferral.
Well, that's why I'm against the deferral. Okay, so.
Okay. Didn't mean to cut you off there, but.
No, that's okay.
And if you have, and after the vote on the deferral, if you have other comments, we certainly will hear those. Any other questions or comments on the motion to defer? Commissioner Mary Smith.
I had the opportunity to actually be at this particular Rules Committee meeting, and I would just state that while I appreciate the sentiment to have another Rules Committee, there's no guarantee that it would still be open to discussion. So I think we probably should go ahead and just vote on it tonight.
Any other questions or comments on the motion to defer? Commissioner Williams.
Yeah, I find it interesting that it didn't get a second in committee. I mean, but I think we've contemplated this before. I don't think anybody's against transparency for the public, but there are administrative consequences to hitting that 48-hour. And that, the last time I was there and we discussed this in depth, it's a fairly substantial impact on the staff. Also considering that, just like this resolution that didn't get voted on in Rules Committee came forward to the full county commission anyways, it's not like the state. So I think on regards to deferment, right, I think we need to make sure that we have a good in-depth discussion again around the administrative changes that would need to happen. And so I'm in favor of deferment.
Commissioner Lawrence.
That prompted me to think of a question. I guess this question might be for Diane, but Diane, so how often does a resolution come in less than 48 hours for a committee for it to be on that agenda?
Unfortunately, more than we would like.
Okay, so in sort of follow up on Commissioner Williams' comment, would this, in your opinion, create a substantial burden that we might need to talk through the logistics of?
I think, again, Commissioner Lawrence, that's not pointed to the deferral. That would be a question for the resolution itself.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments on the deferral itself? Commissioner Clifford.
I'll follow Commissioner Lawrence's comment there. I think it may involve the motion to defer because I think there's a lot of robust discussion that needs to happen, probably with some staff. And I think the committee meeting and our structure accommodates those discussions in a much more casual way than us having to push our button to speak and call people up. It allows us to accomplish a lot of things in committee that are just harder to accomplish here. And I think we need to take the time to give it a second shot. And if we can't get it at the second shot, then we'll be back here.
Any other questions or comments on the motion to defer to June? I'm anticipating this will need to be a roll call vote. So why don't we go ahead and, oh, it's on the machine already? Okay. We have it loaded on the machine. So again, not voting on the resolution itself, but on a motion to defer this resolution to June so that the Rules Committee and possibly other committees can discuss it further, ask questions about how this might impact the mayor's office and other departments. And if you are in favor of that, press your yes button. If you're opposed to the deferral, press your no button. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please. It's deferred to June. Moving on to Resolution 525-1. I'm sorry, that's one we just did, right? I got 2 copies of it. Oh, that's right. Resolution 525-30, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into an interlocal agreement with Middle Tennessee State University concerning opioid abatement, grantee data tracking and evaluation. Proper motion made by Commissioner Paul Webb and seconded by Commissioner Greg Sanford. Opioid Task Force was 8-4-0 against. Public Health Committee was 3-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
Is for the mayor to sign an agreement for MTSU to provide data tracking and evaluation service on the opioid abatement funds.
I have a question or comment from Commissioner Webb.
Mr. Chair. And this may be for the staff. I didn't push any button to make the motion or second, so I just want to let you know that I'm happy to do that, but I'm over here reading another resolution. I did not push the buttons. So just wanted to make that clear.
What did it register for,
By the
Mr.
way,
Webb?
that's happened to me, and I've been signed out twice, and I don't know what's going on, so.
Oh, wow. We have a ghost in the system?
It's strange.
Okay.
Okay, just, may I
Yeah.
ask her a question? Commissioner Hayes, do you remember which ones so that we can have staff particularly look at that? We do have a new
It was
software
like
in
4 or
tonight.
5 ago.
Okay.
Twice, it happened twice in a row.
So
And it just
you
happened to
were
Webb just now.
recorded as a motion or a second that you did not make?
No, it signed me out before I voted. It wasn't the motion, it was signing me out, and I would look down and Brian's like, hey, Commissioner Hayes. So
Okay,
it signed me
that's
out twice, and I had to type
different.
it.
That's different. Yeah, that's.
Sorry.
But Commissioner Webb, you did not press to make a motion, although we show here that you did. Okay. But you're okay with making the motion?
I'm okay.
All right. Any questions or comments on Resolution 525-30? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Motion passes. Resolution 525-31, a resolution authorizing a continuous 3-year for reappraisal in Williamson County is submitted by the assessor of property to Williamson County. Proper motion made by Commissioner Megan Guthrie and seconded by Commissioner Judy Herbert. The Tax Study Committee was 3-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
Is the reappraisal time from 4 years to 3 years.
And again, Brad is still here if anyone has any questions or comments. Well, yeah, but I do recognize you, Commissioner Sturgeon. I'll go to you second. First up is Commissioner Torres.
Yeah, I was going to ask Brad to just give us kind of his perspective on this, and I think there could be some downside risk in this potentially, but
Well,
I'd like to hear just
I'll-
your perspective.
Sure. Yeah, I'll start with how we kind of got here. So the state statute says that each of the 95 counties is required to reappraise every 4, 5, or 6 years, or anything that's been approved by the local body, the commission, and by the State Board of Equalization. So historically, we had been on a 5-year reappraisal. We moved to a 4-year that we are completing as we speak. That will officially end on June 30, and we will kick off the next reappraisal plan. The purpose for the 3-year reappraisal for what is before you tonight is mainly because of what is called a sales ratio. So in any reappraisal system or time period, every second year, the state comes in and does a sales ratio. And all that simply is where the current market value is against the county's values. In 23, when the sales ratio was done, it came back at 0.6437, the largest ratio that we've ever had. Because of that, many commercial properties came in and appealed those values, and while they had been relatively flat, they did receive that ratio of a 36% discount, if you will. The county lost somewhere in the neighborhood of $7 million, actual tax dollars, in '23 and in '24. So the discussion became with Rogers, myself, and Mr. Mosley about what are some options that we can do. My thought is, to be very transparent, is that we would go to a 3-year with the idea of going to a 2-year after that and completely eliminating the sales ratio. That would allow us to step into that. Other positives would be that you have a more accurate reflection of current market value. You have less swings in value. Of course, if we look at the majority of this large value that we're looking at this reappraisal, most of those were realized in those first 2 years. And so the downside that I would see is just the simple perception of reappraisal, that we're receiving and y'all are already receiving for phone calls. I don't know how much more you want me to go into than that.
I guess when I think about the downside potential is the underlying assumption is the market continues to increase or appreciate. The downside of that is if you get a 2007 event again, not that I think Williamson County that would happen, but that's the downside risk that concerns me, is because then you're now looking at having to raise taxes to maintain.
Right. It's
Does that make sense? Like if you
we reappraised in 2006, and we had about a 30% increase in value. Had we been on a 2-year at that point, we would have reappraised in 2008, and that would have been an increase as well. But then 2010 would have been a decrease more than likely due to the recession. Now, is that a tax increase? What would have ended up happening? We would have set market value. Property values may have went down overall. That certified rate that you would be looking at in that reappraisal would have been actually higher.
Right.
So not necessarily a tax increase, but that rate would have increased to keep it revenue neutral across the board.
Right.
So depending on how your property went up, higher or lower than the average, you may or may not have paid more in taxes. Again, the whole point of the reappraisal has nothing to do with taxes. It is for equity across the board for property values.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a few others on the board, but before I go to them, Commissioner Sturgeon, did you want to add to that, or was that kind of the same?
I'm struggling to understand the sales ratio. I've understood it in the past, but I don't understand it today. So can you give it to me for, dummies?
Oh, no, sure. I'll try my best. Again, what is the sales ratio? It is the current market versus the previous reappraised value. So in 21, we reappraised your property, and in 21 and 22, it went up substantially, but my value stayed the same. The county value stayed the same.
Yeah.
That sales ratio is a marker of the difference between the two. The reason that the sales ratio was created is because of personal property. Business, tangible personal property is reported annually. They get that ratio. The purpose of that ratio is to bring them into equity with real property. It also goes against state assessed properties, which are also appraised annually. So they bring in a new assessment for state assessed properties, and then they get that ratio to equalize them to the residential and commercial values as well. That was the purpose of the sales ratio. I would say it was misused in this last time. It made it difficult in our office because of that potential loss in value. But that's what it is.
Thanks, Brad.
Does that help?
Commissioner Williams?
For today.
No, you answered part of my question because I thought statutorily we were limited to just 4 years. Just a general comment. One thing I don't like about the 3 years, you could have one county commission that actually has to deal with 2 reappraisals within one term. And the thing I like about the 4-year is that to a degree it forces us to be fiscally conservative and smart with our budgeting, right? Knowing that historically speaking, we don't address tax rate changes unless it's usually around the certified rate being set in. I think at surface value, I'm not necessarily in favor of the 3-year, but I appreciate the conversation. Yeah. Thank you.
I'll say, Mr. Williams, I don't like it because the assessor has to do it every 3 years as well, so it's a heavy lift. But
Commissioner Lawrence?
So Brad, what you said the last 2 years, we would have got a $7 million bump in 23 and 24 if the ratios had not been.
We wouldn't have got a bump. We actually had a loss because of that. That was money that was on the table that was lost.
But that's going to be reset at this reappraisal, so we'll gain $7 million. Or is that the number this year, or what's the number?
Yeah, that sales ratio, once it's over, it's over. So that money that it was lost, it's not realized.
I understand that, but you're going to reset it, though, right, at reappraisal time, correct?
Every property value will be reset.
Right. Okay.
And then the tax rate that you vote on will be reset as well. Not sure if I'm answering your question correctly.
But does that not increase our revenues because of the ratios going away or being reset, essentially? It doesn't?
No, sir.
Okay.
Has to be revenue neutral. After the sales ratio is taken out, your total revenue is set. That's what's revenue neutral on the certified rate, not what it should have been.
So does that apply to personal property as well?
Personal property is an annual assessment, and so the ratio will disappear for them for the next 2 years as well.
Right. So that's, I guess, what my question might. So does that increase our revenues because the personal property ratio goes away?
It doesn't increase our revenue. Again, the purpose of that ratio is for equalization purposes for them. They will receive an increase of their value because of that lost ratio. I think maybe that's your question.
Yes. Right. Yes.
So as your personal home goes up in value, your value will be more. Personal property's value will be at market for this year.
Yeah.
Instead of receiving that ratio.
The revenue neutrality is not for a specific property. It is the total revenue to the county. So the fact that you received $4 million, your value's not set based on that when you go to the new. You'll go to 100% value. But the overall revenue to the county has to be revenue neutral from the year before to the year of the reassessment. So the total revenue is what we're talking about on revenue neutral.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Brad.
Any other questions on Resolution 52531? I see none.
I will offer just simply that there are other counties that are looking at this. There will be several counties that are moving to a less than 4-year for that same reason. So Williamson County will not be the only one this year. Should you choose, should you not, I assume at that point I would be coming back before you with a 4-year reappraisal plan like we've done in the past.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
17 yes, 6 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52532, resolution local agreement, City of Fairview, Tennessee, related to the annexation of non-contiguous parcels within the urban growth boundary. Proper motion made by Commissioner Greg Sanford and seconded by Commissioner Tom Tunnicliffe. Highway Committee was 5-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
This is an interlocal agreement to shift financial responsibility for the maintenance and care for a portion of Crowcut Road to the City of Fairview from the county.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52533, resolution authorizing grant contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Military, Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, revenues to come from Emergency Management Performance Grant. Proper motion made by Commissioner Greg Sanford and seconded by Commissioner Steve Smith. Law Enforcement was 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Tunnicliffe.
Yeah, this is grant money we're getting from the state to offset these funds. Should be no challenge.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52534, resolution grant funding to acquire a Lenco Bearcat tactical vehicle conditioned on using the equipment for a public purpose and in accordance with applicable law. Proper motion made by Commissioner Greg Sanford and seconded by Commissioner David O'Neill. Law Enforcement was 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Tunnicliffe.
Yeah, having sat in law enforcement and budget to listen to this explanation of this piece of equipment, I still would not do it justice. This is a military piece of equipment, and if you have questions on it, I think we need to look to Sheriff Hughes for answers on that.
Does anybody have any questions for Sheriff Hughes, or does Sheriff Hughes have anything he'd like to say on the resolution? I'm not seeing any questions, but if you have anything you'd like to add. Oh, yes.
Call Connor Scott to the podium as well.
Sure,
Chairman,
absolutely.
This is a grant that is for the 5th district. And I don't mean the district in the county. This is a district bigger than just Williamson County. And we are in turn, or we're in line to receive this piece of equipment that will service not only Williamson County, but everyone in the 5th district. And this is a unique and specialized piece of equipment for rescue operations in particular situations that hopefully don't happen very often, but in the event they do, this type of armored vehicle would give us the ability to go in and do a rescue mission or allow others in the 5th district to utilize this equipment to do the same.
Anything you'd like to add, or?
Sure. Good evening, Commissioners. Good to see you all. Connor Scott, Public Safety Director. So there are a couple grants that are coming from the federal level that are managed by Tennessee Emergency Management that are coordinated at the regional level, as the Sheriff spoke to. So our region is Williamson County, Davidson, Wilson, Rutherford, Sumner, Trousdale, and Cannon. And there was an agreement made several years ago. There's a committee structure that votes on how the grants are going to be appropriated across the region. There's a training and exercise committee, an operations committee, and of course a law enforcement committee. And the law enforcement committee decided that with the limited funds, they would take turns for the different counties that are in the region in buying these armored vehicles. And so now several counties have purchased similar vehicles, and it's Williamson County's turn. And of course, the idea for this vehicle is to be an armored vehicle that can go into dangerous situations, doing things like officer down rescues or proceeding into areas that are unsafe for people to enter, so these vehicles can perform operations.
Thank you for that explanation. Any questions or comments? I see none. And if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor of Resolution 52534, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52535, resolution to surplus K-9, Williamson County Sheriff's Office to their respective law enforcement handlers. Proper motion made by Commissioner Greg Sanford, seconded by Commissioner David O'Neill. Property Committee was 4-4-0 against. Law Enforcement was 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Tunnicliffe.
Yeah, this is pretty simple. We're looking to transfer the ownership of K-9 Officer Cass and K-9 Officer Hattie to their handlers.
Very good. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52536, resolution accepting Belgian Malinois. What is it? Malinois. Say that with a French accent, or K-9 on behalf of the Williamson County Sheriff's Office. Proper motion made by Commissioner Greg Sanford, seconded by Commissioner Steve Smith. The Property Committee was 4-4-0 against, and the Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Hayes.
Yes, this is a generous donation from Jessica and Charlie Richard that own the 3-year-old Belgian Malinois that has been trained for detection of narcotics, and they desire to donate it to our wonderful Williamson County Sheriff's Office, and as long as the conditions are that it's used for law enforcement purposes. So we appreciate this generous donation.
Absolutely. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52537, resolution 2025 enclosed adoption trailer from Mark and Cindy Enderly through Friends of Williamson County Animal Center on behalf of Williamson County Animal Center. Proper motion made by Commissioner Steve Smith and seconded by Commissioner Greg Sanford. Property Committee was 4-4-0 against. Public Health was 3-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Hayes.
Another generous donation, like you said, from Mark and Cindy Enderly, purchased an enclosed adoption trailer to be used by the Williamson County Animal Center. So it's great. Thank you.
And I understand they've made several donations to the Williamson County Animal Center in years past. We thank them for those. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52538, resolution declaring certain Williamson County owned weapons as surplus. Proper motion made by Commissioner David O'Neill and seconded by Commissioner Greg Sanford. Law Enforcement was 4-4-0 against. Property Committee was 4-4-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Hayes.
Yes. So our Sheriff's Department has a long list of weapons that they no longer use. It's cost prohibitive because they're older weapons to continue to maintain them. So they're putting them up for surplus.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. If you're opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 525, resolution accepting a donation of a trained Labrador Retriever K9 on behalf of the Williamson County Sheriff's Office. Proper motion made by Commissioner Greg Sanford and seconded by Commissioner David O'Neill. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
This is the donation of a Labrador Retriever from the National Computer Forensic Institute to be used by the Sheriff's Office for electronic storage device detection and cell phone detection.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 52540, resolution authorizing the transfer of certain Parks and Recreation Department surplus property to C. Proper motion made by Commissioner Steve Smith and seconded by Commissioner Megan Guffey. Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert. Herbert.
Surplus equipment that is no longer used by Parks and Rec, and it will be donated to the Houston County government for their senior citizens facility.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Commissioner Aiello, record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. The next three resolutions are kind of tied together. Resolution 52541, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to enter into a contract with Cannon County on behalf of the Juvenile Court of Williamson County to house juveniles in the Juvenile Detention Center. Proper motion made by Megan Guffey and seconded by Commissioner Judy Herbert. The Budget Committee was 4-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
Agreement for Williamson County Juvenile Detention Center to house juveniles from Cannon County when needed at $200 a day.
I have a question or comment from Commissioner Mason.
Thank
You actually have a question for Judge Guffey. And this question will apply to all three of the resolutions since they're identical but for the county. Judge Guffey, we've had conversations the last couple years about the amount that we charge for the out-of-county juveniles, if you recall. And I think at one point, the amount that we were charging was just enough to cover our expenses or not quite to cover our expenses. And so we had stressed last year, I know, in Law Enforcement Committee to look at increasing that rate or getting it to where we're not losing money. And I just can't recall what the rate was and how much, if any, has it changed under these contracts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners. We have increased our daily rate to $200 with all of our county contracts, including these three new ones. It was at $125.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that.
I got a question, too, from Commissioner Drew Torres.
Hey, Judge Guffey, good evening.
Good evening.
Just a quick question that would apply to all three is, I was thinking about Madison County, and that's 2 hours away from here. And then I was thinking about the other counties that have a little closer proximity, but are we just housing them? And then the only potential concern I have is it putting an undue burden on that family who's maybe going to have, want to come visit them or whatever that process looks like within juvenile court?
So the county contracts are because there are 95 counties in the state and only 23 counties have detention centers. So counties contract with each other. It really doesn't matter where they are. It's based on availability.
Yeah, you're getting a little feedback there, but I think we can hear you okay.
It's who has a bed.
Gotcha.
And these are very short-term stays. They're usually pre-adjudication, 2 days, 3 days maybe.
Okay, great. Thank you.
A question or comment from Commissioner Greg Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Judge.
Good evening.
So the rate's gone up from $120 to $200. So is that enough to cover our costs now?
Well, first of all, understand that we aren't bringing in extra staff to accommodate these youth. We're using our existing staff. So yes, it does cover it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Commissioner Sanford, did you not? Yours was asked and answered. Commissioner Hayes.
Just to be sure, I think you may have just answered it, but so it covers the overtime of your staff having to.
Well, there's not overtime involved in our typical staffing.
Okay. Well, I thought, never mind. Thank you.
Commissioner Sturgeon.
Thank you, Chairman. How often would you say we've done this in the last year for each of these counties? And my second question is, do they ever have medical expenses that we have to pay?
No.
Okay.
That's part of our contract, is that they're responsible for those costs. Year to date, we've collected $26,000 in county contracts. What was the first?
$26,000
Mhm. What was
at $125 a day?
Mhm.
So
What was the
it's
first?
happening a lot.
It's only based on our availability. So if we have extra space, we might allow it. We also scrutinize based on what they're charged with, whether or not we can accommodate it. So we take great care in who and when we house anyone.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, it
Commissioner
might be
Stress?
one every 3 weeks.
Well, am I wrong? $26,000 divided by 125 is how many days we're housing juveniles outside of our county, right?
You're the math person.
Okay.
I just give the numbers that Zanny gives me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioner.
And $200 or even $125 a day adds up pretty quickly.
Sorry, I kept interrupting you guys. I apologize for that.
You're fine.
Commissioner Petty.
Yeah, I read the contract, and we're very well protected. For one thing, as you mentioned, the other county, they have to transport the child here to and from, and if there's any medical expense, they're on the hook for all of that. And so, I think we're well protected in regards to any possible extra costs we might have.
Commissioner Stresser.
Good evening, Judge. Do you have any concerns over capacity? I know we've had a lot of conversations here about lack of facility space, concerns over being able to house a number of these individuals. Do you have any concerns with these 3 counties? Are we going to run into any issues where there's lack of space or anything like that?
No, we're talking about, with the exception of Madison County, we're talking about counties that have populations of 15,000 people. They may house 1 youth a year.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Judge Guffey or on the resolution itself? I see none.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. All right, if you are ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. If you're opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Next resolution is very similar, as well as the resolution after that. Resolution 52542, to a contract with Madison County on behalf of the Juvenile Court of Williamson County to house juveniles in the Williamson County Juvenile Detention Center. Proper motion made by Commissioner Judy Herbert and seconded by Commissioner Jennifer Mason. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
This is the same as the one for to house juveniles from Madison County at $200 per day.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, press your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Resolution 525, County Mayor to enter into a contract with Smith County on behalf of the Juvenile Court of Williamson County to house juveniles in the Williamson County Juvenile Detention Center. Proper motion made by Commissioner Steve Smith, seconded by Commissioner Judy Herbert. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
Same as before, except it's to house juveniles from Smith County for $200 per day.
Any questions? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Commissioner Guffey. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. This resolution will require a 2/3 vote. It's a resolution setting the Williamson County Hotel Motel tax rate for the 25-26 fiscal year. And a proper motion is made by Commissioner Steve Smith and seconded by Commissioner Megan Guffey. Tax Study Committee was 3-0 against. Budget Committee was 4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Herbert.
We were required to set this each year, and this is the one for this year. It's 4%, which is the same it's been for several years.
Any questions? Got a question from Commissioner O'Neill or comment?
Is that the highest amount we can charge by state law?
We can go up. Excuse me? We can go up.
No, I think we're at the top of what we can do.
Yeah. I thought we'd go to 5, but we had to dedicate purely to tourism. Did we discuss that, Steve? I thought we discussed that we'd go to 5 but we'd have to spend that money for tourism. That's
Commissioner
okay.
Smith, Commissioner Steve Smith.
Mr. Chair, thank you. The state passed a law for counties imposing new hotel motel tax that included that provision. But it's my understanding that we're at the top rate that we can because we had a pre-existing rate of 4%.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. Final resolution for the evening is late filed resolution 525. Prioritization for the widening of Interstate 65 from Interstate 840 at exit 59 to Bear Creek Pike at exit 46. Proper motion is made by Commissioner Jeff Graves and seconded by Commissioner Megan Guffey. The Highway Commission was 5-4-0 against. Explanation, please, Commissioner Jeff Graves.
Thank you, Chairman. This is a resolution, as you heard Vice Mayor Linville from Spring Hill say, really we're asking our state legislative delegation to actively engage and advocate with GNRC and with TDOT to encourage and to accomplish the widening of I-65 from 840 down to Bear Creek Pike. This resolution has been passed in Columbia and Murray County, should be passed tomorrow night in Thompson Station, has been passed in Spring Hill as well, so that we can present a unified voice to our state legislators to work on our behalf to get that accomplished, to continue to promote economic development, to improve traffic flow through there, and just in general make life easier when you're traveling on I-65.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Graves. Any questions or comments? Commissioner Mason, do you want to speak to it at all? Or?
I would just echo what my counterpart said, and I would ask for everybody to support this because traffic affects all of us. And if you've ever driven down 65 South, especially, you bottleneck, and it doesn't matter how well the traffic's flowing, you're going to sit there in traffic for a while. So I would urge everybody to support it.
Commissioner Hayes.
So just so I understand, we're encouraging our state level representatives to push this forward. Do we have any idea how it's expected to be funded?
It'll be funded, I'm sure, through a variety of partnership between city, county, state funding at that point, but we're advocating it. My understanding is this currently is not even on TDOT's radar, and so first step is to get it on their plan, and so this is a project that when and if it happens will be many years in the making, and so I would anticipate though at that point that funding would come from a variety of different sources.
Okay, thank you. And I agree.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, if you're ready to vote, if you're in favor, signify by pressing your yes button. Any opposed, your no. Anyone wishing to change their vote, please do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes.
Resolution passes. As always, we want sheriff's deputies for being here. Yeah. First, Council Mosley reminded me this is the first commissioner meeting. Also, again, Commissioner Graves, thank you for your time with us, Commissioner Graves. We do appreciate it. We do wish you the best. Hope everybody has a happy Memorial Day. And if there's no other business before this board, I'll entertain a motion to... Motion! We are adjourned.